Water is the most important basic material and offers almost limitless learning opportunities, especially for children of this age.
Scientific and mathematical experience is gained, as well as emotional satisfaction. Equipment is not introduced at first. The children just have the sensory experience of feeling the water.
Plastic bottles and 3 different sizes of funnel have been introduced, and here Lisa finds it quite difficult to control the ladle as she fills her bottle.
The equipment is introduced gradually to structure the learning situation.
The teacher has decided beforehand in what order she's going to introduce the equipment. Andrew is learning that the large bottle takes longer to fill than the small bottle.
A good depth of water in the bath is always necessary when the children are experimenting. Sometimes the water can be hot and sometimes cold. The teacher is here talking about how the water feels when it comes out from the shower underneath the colander, whether it feels the same.
A variety of coarse and fine sieves help the formation of a time concept as the children watch how long they take to empty.
This is emphasized again with the use of equipment for pouring and sprinkling.
Barbara is pouring water from a height and watching the bubbles form.
The vocabulary here would include words such as high, low, slow, and fast.
Which takes longest to sink, the pebble or the pumice stone? They look alike but feel different. This experiment needs to be repeated. The children will keep on repeating this because the articles look alike.
These balls are similar to look at, but one is heavy and the other is light.
The table tennis ball floats and the golf ball sinks.
We keep the clear plastic tubing in water with a little disinfectant and train the children to rinse it before use.
Yes, they soon learn to dip the tubes back in the bucket before using them again. We can provide tubes of different diameters so that they can discover the differences in the rates of flow and the water levels.
They are discovering that air and water don't mix.
These 3 mugs have holes made in the side at different levels, one at the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom. This is to help children to discover that they can never completely empty a container with a hole half or 2/3 of the way up. Young children find it very difficult to understand the concept of empty or nothing left.
The children are observing and discussing which mug remains full, which is half full, and which empties, and noticing the angle of flow as the water falls out of the container. Let's watch them experimenting. The children discover that Andrew's container, which has a hole at the bottom, empties quickly because of the water pressure. Barbara's remains half full because the hole is halfway up.
Lisa finds it difficult to understand why her mug doesn't empty. with its hole at the top. She keeps trying to make it empty.
You will see her teacher drawing attention to the position of the hole.
Look at the concentration on Andrew's face as he watches his mug emptying.
This set of mugs has 1, 4, 8 and 12 holes pierced in the base for sequencing and time lag experiments. They also learn which empties first, second, third and fourth.
The teacher is introducing a sponge and a loofah for comparison of absorbency and porosity. This is another sensory experience.
The children are feeling the textures of the sponge and loofah. The sponge is soft and the loofah is rough.
And as it's a new dry loofah, they are able to watch it swell when it is put into the water. As it absorbs the water, they notice the difference in the weight and the change in colour.
They find that the sponge holds water, but the loofah doesn't.
Lisa is squeezing the sponge, but they find they can't squeeze the loofah.
Red powder paint is added to the water in order to provide another learning situation for the children. This is a non-toxic material.
They like watching it blend in as the colour slowly spreads.
Now, when their hands are under the water, they find that they can't see them. The water has become opaque.
Water finds its own level and travels uphill under pressure. This is easiest to see if coloured water is used.
Again, as the funnels are raised and lowered, water finds its own level.
Detergent adds another dimension to the water. The children enjoy stirring up the bubbles.
Foam is formed, and Julie picks it up. The teacher talks to them about the colours in the bubbles, the density of them, and the different sizes of the bubbles.
Julie is almost 5, and she's able to fill 4 beakers to an equal level. This is a very difficult task for young children. Needs a lot of control.
Coloured water should be used as it's easier for them to see.
Children who have not had much water play would continue to fill the beakers until they overflowed, but Julie is able to judge the level she needs. Watch her drop her eye level.
She matches and compares them to see if they are equal.
She tips one beaker into a wide, shallow box and is able to understand conservation of quantity. Very few under 5s reach this stage of mathematical thought. Water offers many opportunities for the use of meaningful language, early scientific discoveries, and the development of mathematical ideas. The structuring of these materials by the teacher makes early mathematical and scientific discoveries inevitable.